As we speak, Israel's under attack from the north, dozens of rockets being fired from Hezbollah into Israel. The IDF is responding. I'm joined now by Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. Good morning, Senator. Welcome.
Good morning to you. Delighted to join you.
What did you make of President Biden's embargo on arms to Israel for offensive purposes in Gaza that he announced last week?
Well, as you can well imagine, when we heard that, it made it very clear that regardless of what Congress does, Joe Biden is going to avoid doing what he is instructed. He is going to jump in and do what he wants to do. And I think one of the things, Hugh, for those of us who kept saying, let's separate out these aid packages and take them separately as we normally do, and then handle Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, and the Indo-Pacific, handle all of this as separate things. Well, they said, no, you have to do it together. So it kind of proves the point that it wasn't about Taiwan or Israel or border security. It was about getting money to Ukraine, which was $60 billion, and now they've turned around and they need another 50 by the end of the year.
Well, I'm unaware of the second request, but I know that Israel needs these precise munitions. Does it make any sense to you at all to take the JDAMs away from Israel when they limit civilian casualties as opposed to a greater number of civilian casualties?
It makes absolutely no sense at all. But we know that for Joe Biden and the Democrats in the White House, the leftists, the pro-Palestine crew that is calling the shots on all of this, that what they have wanted to do is to rein in Israel, and this is how they're doing it. Even though Congress said the support goes to Israel, they're saying, oh, no, it doesn't. We can block it, and then we can try to micromanage this war and keep Israel from defending themselves and keep them from eliminating Hamas.
Is the Republican conference united in saying that the weapons have to go? And if the Washington Post story from last Friday is correct, the intelligence embargo on where Sinwar is has got to end as well. Is the GOP conference united on this?
Yes, the GOP conference is united on this.
So let me then turn to the second big issue. You're on energy, transportation, and commerce. I want to talk about energy for a moment. President Biden imposed a tariff on Chinese EV vehicles because his EV mandate is destroying the automobile industry in Michigan. What did you make of the tariff? Does it answer the problem of the mandate?
Well, of course, we do not want Chinese vehicles in the U.S. because the Chinese embed spyware into this technology. But when you look at what he did with his tariffs, when you look at aluminum and steel and rare earth minerals, what did he do? He raised all these tariffs on those things. So on one hand, he is saying, okay, we want to move to these EVs, but on the other hand, he's making it too expensive to make them and too expensive for people to afford them. This Green New Deal energy policy that they have is wrecking the economy. And you can talk to any auto dealer out there. I talked to one yesterday, and he had an EV that had turned a year old on his lot. He could not sell the thing, so he ended up donating it to charity.
Huh. You know, my friend Phil Brady, who used to be deputy counsel to President H.W. Bush, ran for a while the National Automobile Dealers Association. They're smart guys and smart gals. People who own car dealerships are very smart. If they can't move a product, they don't want the product. And they tell the manufacturer that. Tennessee is a home for some car manufacturers. What are they telling you?
And what I am hearing from the dealers is people come in, they look at these things, they test drive them, they find out you can't charge the battery past 80 or 85%, so you're not going to get that full range. People will buy them as a third car or an around the around town car. But that means you're selling it to people that can afford to have more than one vehicle. People just do not want these. And the manufacturers are requiring dealerships to take a certain number of these, but they're sitting at the back of the lot because people do not want to buy them. They are not seen as affordable or dependable.
I have to tell you, Senator, when I was in California, I've got a 14-year-old car out there that I take in. I'm never going to give it up. It's only got 90,000 miles on it. But I took it in to get some work done on it. And the dealer said, well, I'm going to give you a loaner. It's an EV. You're not going far, are you? I said, no, I'm not going far. That told me all I needed to know. You can't get from there to here with an EV. So do your Democratic friends recognize that this is a complete fiasco?
I think they're beginning to realize that. As the auto dealer told me yesterday, he said, I've got a fair amount of customers that want a hybrid, but everybody wants a gas-powered vehicle at their house. And he was just very upfront about it. And he said people are beginning to come in, and that is what they want. He said some people do want a hybrid, and those are selling well, but the gas-powered vehicle is still the staple on the car lot.
Of course, people need security in their transportation. Last question, Senator Blackburn. Former President Trump was on with me yesterday, where he quickly accepted the invitation from Joe Biden for 2 debates. He doesn't care where the moderators is. He doesn't care what network it is. He wants to get on the stage with President Biden. Were you surprised by former President Trump's quick acceptance and by his indifference to the moderators?
Oh, no, not at all, because he knows that the more Joe Biden talks, and if you put him out unscripted, he is not able to do the job. And the American people need to see this. And Donald Trump knows he is going to be able to give those answers, to give them concisely. Donald Trump is going to stand on his record. You can look at all the poll numbers that are coming across from any number of polls, whether they're Republican, Independent, Democrat, whatever. And Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden. And he's beating him by a little in some areas, a lot in others. But once the people see these two men standing alone on a stage, and one can answer questions and the other loses his train of thought before he gets to the end of the sentence, they are not going to be voting for Joe Biden. So, we are all in on helping President Donald Trump, and your audience can keep up with us at MarshaBlackburn.com. We're on the ballot this year also, and we are looking forward to having President Trump at the top of that ticket and winning our race for U.S. Senate and supporting him every step of the way.